Hello, everybody. I woke up today. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling refreshed. 44 years. It's been a week since I turned 44, which I like to think of it as I made another year through this lifetime for 44 years. Anyway, with that being said about the years on this planet, I decided that I was going to start focusing on me internally. This is not about healing. This is not about what I need to get done for living or anything. This is solely based off of taking a really good look at myself. And so I decided that I'm going to start with the basics. So what happened was I was watching TV. Now, this came out of nowhere. I was watching this show called Half Men. Now, the reason why this is important is because when I said I'm going to start taking a look at myself, I started looking at the things that I don't like in the world. And why? Because everything that we don't like about something or somebody is a reflection of us. It's something that we need to take an introspective perspective on, right? So as I was watching this show, it's a English show based out of I think it's English. I'm not sure. BBC. And it's on HBO. So I'm looking at the guy, the two main characters, and one of them in particular. One is weak to me. The other one is just overly masculine. So I didn't understand the dynamic, the duel between these two. They were half brothers. Their mothers ended up being lesbian lovers. So the the overly masculine guy came to move in with them when they were 17. So he's been improperly influencing the other boy. So as the show kept progressing, I was like, I don't like him, the overly masculine guy. And then I was saying, I don't like the other one either. So I was really going deep into masculine energy. And what I found is that in my writings, I know it seems as if I bash men. It's not that. What I found is that I have a expectation of masculinity. And I guess it started when I was younger. I don't know, because I didn't connect with my father to know if I was affected by his absence or not, because I had a stepfather that was in the house. And my stepfather and I had a love-hate relationship. We get along so great, but then we couldn't stand to live with each other. You know, he had to have things his way, and it was like the kids are in the way. You know, he wanted to just be him and my mother, and you know, it was times when we couldn't get along. But what I learned from him is that men can be really loving. They can really, when they love you, they can really open their hearts. They can really communicate. But it's not always the men. Because my mother, now being a grown woman, I see why it was a lot of friction. My mother held the reins. She was feminine all the way, but she had an underlining, controlling masculine energy about her. So he would borderline follow what she follow her lead. So I didn't get a chance to really see a duality between the feminine and masculine energy because they crossed. So as I was witnessing this in my childhood, it didn't really affect me until I started realizing my own father had left my house. He and my mother got divorced when I was a baby still. But when he left, he would come back around. He would talk to me, give me gifts. I mean, he loved giving gifts. He was a Cancer. And he loved 4th of July, baby, actually. And this is not relevant, but it's funny. He and his brother were twins. And my father was born on July 4th, and his twin was born July 5th. So at midnight, my grandmother had the other one. And so when people say, well, how are you twins with a day apart birthday? That's what happened. So anyway, he showed me that that men can love the woman's children. The woman that he loves more, that's the children he'll support. And so when I was seeing this, I was like, well, my father stopped coming around. He had 2 other children, and he stopped coming around. He stopped really connected with me. So I just started getting more into my own masculine energy because, like I said, I had a stepfather in the household, and then I had my father, who still lived in the same city, but we didn't see much of each other anymore after his wife and him had the kids and stuff. Later along the lines, they end up getting divorced, and then my father ended up being single. I had one time in my whole adult life to talk to him, and he told me that I didn't need to find out from him who I really was. He's Nigerian. He's from Igbo. Well, he was Nigerian, from Igbo, the tribe Igbo. And so I just left it at that. I said, okay, well, sure, you're right, Dad. I don't need you to tell me who I am. So when my stepfather was in the picture, which my father gave him a thank you, thank you for taking care of my daughter. It wasn't toxic. I didn't have a toxic childhood. I didn't have any really drama, besides seeing my parents argue, my mother and stepfather argue all the time. But even in their arguments, they had the hood love. They'll argue, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, let's go get something to eat. So, that was normal behavior, to trip out, flip out, and then all of a sudden they 2 peas in a pod. It's like they never even argue. So witnessing that, I was like, okay, that's not what I want. I just started gathering the information to say, I appreciate them. I love the fact that he loved my mother and was always there for her until he passed away in 2021. So my father passed. No, it's the opposite. My father passed in 2021. My stepfather passed in 2020. So I lost both of them. Well, I didn't lose them. They transitioned and they're still around. But they left their earthly bodies in those 2 years. So I lost what? So I don't want to say lost. So one after the other, they transitioned. So now this brings me back to my own masculinity. So that gives you a background on what I witnessed as a young girl growing up. I learned how to manage things on my own. I ended up being very independent. And not only because of the absence of the father figures, it was my mother as well. My mother put me in a masculine energy by me being so independent. She'd tell me, you do it, learn how to do it. She put me in that position to teach me how to stand on my own. And that wasn't a bad thing at all, because naturally females are born to be leaders. We're going to be the next in line, right? So it wasn't so much as that I had to